Rough day to say the least. Working at ESPN. We all know the news right now. No need to delay the obvious. My man Ryan Clark for ESPN is gone. He was let go by ESPN yesterday. There's a lot of noise circulating throughout social media and beyond about how he found out. He was on the air doing NFL Live when he was notified, and various reports out there were saying that, ESPN was concerned as a result of knowing that the information had leaked, that he would find out while he was on the air from somebody else, so they wanted to make sure he heard from them or whatever. I don't know all those details. And to be quite honest with you, I don't care. What I care about is that my brother, Ryan Clark, a person that I consider to be arguably the best NFL analyst in America, is no longer a member of ESPN. And I can't even tell y'all how much that hurts. He's a man, and so he's going to handle it the way men do. And we understand that. But I'm going to miss him. I am not happy about this decision one bit. The bosses know I'm not happy about this decision. I've made that very, very clear. But it's also important that myself and anybody else in the world of business be grown-ups and understand that these are the kind of things that happen when layoffs happen. It's Tuesday, and by the end of this day, you're going to hear about a lot more folks getting laid off. People that are my colleagues, my contemporaries. For all I know, and I don't know the names yet, but for all I know, some more of my friends are going to be gone. You have to get to a point where you recognize what being an adult in the room is all about. When we think about ESPN, first of all, let me be very, very clear. I can disagree with my employers. What you're not going to get me to do is insult my employers. Business is business. And whether we like it or not, those people who made the decisions, whether it's a Ryan Clark or a host of other people, are paid to make those decisions. It's in an enviable position to be in. It ain't the days when ESPN could just hire and hire and hire some more without ever having to let go or lay off anybody. Those days are long gone. I'm looking at notes here, and I'm thinking about May of 2013, when ESPN laid off 400 employees, 5% of its workforce.
Stephen A. Smith finally weighed in on the Ryan Clark situation, but the response itself quickly became part of the controversy. The story that's dominated the last 24 hours isn't just about reports that Ryan Clark was let go by ESPN after disappearing from NFL Live during a commercial break during the Jaden Daniels segment. The reason this is taken off is because of how people believe everything unfolded on a live broadcast. Stephen A. released a video that ran for more than 17 minutes, showing support and paying respect to Ryan Clark, and that's completely his choice. But many critics feel he never addressed the question that's driving the conversation. Most people understand layoffs happen. ESPN is part of Disney, it's a major company, and personalities like Ryan Clark have built large audiences over the years. Everyone knows losing a job is part of business, and employees rarely get advance notice before those decisions are made. That's not the part people are debating. The criticism is centered on the reported way Ryan Clark's exit was handled. According to those reacting online, that's what came across as disrespectful. They argue Stephen A. spent too much time avoiding that point instead of confronting it directly. His explanation that he wasn't going after his bosses hasn't satisfied people because in their view, the bosses are exactly who the criticism is aimed at. Many believe a decision like this isn't made overnight. They argue ESPN would have known well in advance that Ryan Clark was leaving, making the way it reportedly played out even more difficult to understand. Whether viewers agreed with Ryan Clark's opinions or not, they point out that he had been a committed and dedicated part of the network. That's why some people have started asking whether the situation was handled this way on purpose, even though no evidence has confirmed that. Those questions have only added to the backlash, leaving ESPN facing criticism over how the reported departure was managed, rather than simply the decision itself. At the end of the day, nobody is bigger than the system. That's true whether you're talking about sports, business, or life in general. Every organization has people in charge, and companies as large as ESPN and Disney have enormous influence. They have money, relationships, resources, and the ability to shape major conversations because of the size of their platform. But having that kind of power doesn't mean they're immune from criticism. When people believe something was handled poorly, they're going to speak on it no matter how big the company is. And that's exactly what's happening here. A lot of the backlash isn't just about the decision itself, it's about how the situation reportedly unfolded, with many viewers calling the entire process sloppy and disrespectful. Then, another detail started making the rounds. People pointed out that Ryan Clark had reportedly been at Fanatics Fest just days earlier, spending time with ESPN leadership, and everything appeared completely normal. From the outside, it gave the impression that nothing was wrong, which only made the reported firing catch even more people off guard. That sequence of events has led to even more criticism about how the situation was managed, and that's where Stephen A. Smith gets pulled back into the conversation. He can say he doesn't want to publicly criticize his bosses, and that's his choice, but critics haven't forgotten comments he made in the past about going to work every day with the goal of helping his bosses make more money. Because of those statements, some viewers now feel he's more willing to defend management than challenge it. Whether that's a fair assessment or not, it's become part of the reaction online, and it's one of the reasons his response is being scrutinized just as much as ESPN's handling of the situation.
Tell you why I'm successful at ESPN. Because I woke up one day in 2010 and I say, I know exactly what the hell has been wrong with me, and I figured it out. And I wake up every day, how do I make my bosses more money? How do I get some of it? Now, I haven't always been successful. There's a few people in here that were my bosses that I thought I could have done a better job for, and I'm sorry I wasn't as good as I needed to.
You said those words yourself, so now people are holding you to them. That's why a lot of viewers feel your response missed the point. Instead of directly addressing what everyone was upset about, they felt like you spent more time choosing your words carefully than actually confronting the issue. You made it clear your bosses know you're unhappy with how everything unfolded, but in the very next breath, you reminded everyone that you understand the business side of it. And sure, most people understand that layoffs happen. Nobody is arguing that companies never make difficult decisions. The real criticism is about the way this reportedly happened. If someone is on live television 1 minute, disappears during a commercial break, and then reports immediately surface that they've been fired, that's what people are calling disrespectful. That's the part fans keep coming back to. It isn't the decision itself, it's the way the decision appeared to be carried out. Then another question started making the rounds. If the news spread that quickly, who leaked it? Who put the information out there before everything had even settled? There's been plenty of speculation online, including people bringing up last year's controversy involving Ryan Clark, but there's no confirmed connection, and nobody has publicly explained why everything unfolded the way it reportedly did. At the same time, it's impossible to ignore where ESPN stands today. Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith have become the network's biggest stars, and many people believe the company is putting even more of its resources behind its highest-profile personalities while trying to manage its overall budget. Whether that's accurate or not, that perception has become part of the discussion. Meanwhile, the sports media world has changed dramatically. Ryan Clark already has the Pivot podcast and an established independent platform, just like many former athletes who have built successful media brands outside traditional television. Fans no longer have to wait for ESPN to hear different opinions because podcasts, YouTube channels, and athlete-run shows are available every day. That creates far more competition than the network had in previous years, especially in the streaming era. Because of that, some believe ESPN is becoming more selective about who it keeps as its marquee talent. But regardless of the business strategy, many viewers keep returning to the same point. They believe Ryan Clark deserved a more respectful exit than the one that has been reported. That's why the conversation hasn't slowed down. People aren't just debating contracts or layoffs anymore. They're debating professionalism, communication, and whether one of the biggest names at ESPN should have addressed those concerns more directly instead of simply repeating that he understands how business works. Tell me what you think, because this conversation is clearly far from over, and there's still plenty more to unpack as new details continue to emerge.